Clenbuterol hydrochloride is a powerful bronchodilator designed with the primary purpose of treating breathing disorders such as asthma. A selective beta-2 sympathomimetic, this compound actively acts as a beta-2 stimulator, which in turn aids in reversing airway obstruction. This same stimulating effect also makes clenbuterol a powerful fat-burning drug. In fact, while that remains an off-label use, it is perhaps the most common use. When it comes to the effects of clenbuterol in asthmatic patients, the process is rather simple. The bronchodilator opens up the airways and the individual can breathe. Simple, effective, and if you suffer from asthma, a more than welcome medication. For off-label use as a fat burner, clenbuterol functions by enhancing the metabolic rate through the beta-2 stimulation. This stimulation causes the mitochondria of the cell to produce and release more heat, thereby increasing the body's core temperature. This increased heat results in an enhanced metabolism. Calories are burned at a higher rate, fat cells are stimulated, the breakdown of triglycerides is enhanced, and fat loss ensues. This is not a magical fat loss solution. You must still burn more calories than you consume in order to lose body fat, but it can aid in the process. Clenbuterol is also well noted for possessing anabolic properties. However, there is a massive amount of misunderstanding and misinformation present when it comes to this issue. Animal studies have shown clenbuterol to be extremely anabolic. However, there is no data to support this anabolic effect in humans. In fact, there has been evidence to support that there is no significant anabolic effect in humans, and to obtain one, if even possible, it would take enormous doses. Such doses would also be extremely dangerous to the point of life-threatening. In the end, the anabolic nature of clenbuterol still requires some study, but any anabolic effect is not going to be what most would consider strong, that we do know. The side effects of clenbuterol can be quite strong and will affect most people in one way or another. The common side effects of clenbuterol surround its stimulating nature and include jittery, wired feeling, shaking hands, and increased sweating. Most all will experience such effects, but they will normally fade as the individual becomes accustomed to the compound. Many tend to inaccurately assume that when such side effects fade, that the metabolic enhancement provided is no longer there. This is inaccurate, as the same dose of clenbuterol can keep the metabolism rev for upwards of 5 weeks. At the 5-week point, it will be a minimal enhancement. The body does adapt, and for that reason, use must be planned accordingly. More on this later. The side effects of clenbuterol can also include headaches and nausea in some individuals, as well as muscle cramps. While cramps are not extremely common, we can't call them rare either. For this reason, staying well hydrated is extremely important. Some will also find supplementing with taurine to help, as clenbuterol is noted for depleting taurine. Side effects may also include insomnia. Most will want to take their clenbuterol early in the day. However, this compound has a half-life of well over 30 hours, and some will not be able to sleep if they use it at all. Clenbuterol also carries with it some severe possible side effects, and while severe, they are typically linked to improper use such as high doses. The severe side effects of clenbuterol include high blood pressure, irregular heart rate, and even trembling and panic. Some data has also shown that improper use may lead to cardiac hypertrophy, which in turn could easily lead to death. Proper dosing and duration of use is imperative with clenbuterol. It is very possible to use this bronchodilator safely, but you must take the proper steps. There are numerous schools of thought when it comes to clenbuterol cycles and doses for fat loss. For the asthmatic patient, it is simply given at a dose of 20 to 40 micrograms per day, 1 to 2 times per day. But for off-label use, things tend to get a little more complicated. Remember, the body will adapt to the metabolic enhancement. The most common clenbuterol cycle is probably a 2-week on, 2-week off protocol. Such a cycle will begin with 20 to 40 micrograms per day and increase 20 to 40 micrograms every few days until the maximum dose is reached. Once the maximum dose is reached and 2 total weeks of use is complete, the individual will discontinue use for 2 weeks and then repeat the process. While 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off is effective, another alternative is continuous use. Remember, the metabolic enhancement remains for 5 weeks with a single dosing. We can actually slightly increase the dose periodically without having to discontinue use, keeping the metabolic rate revved the entire time. Such a clenbuterol cycle will start with 20 to 40 micrograms per day and increase 20 micrograms every 2 to 3 weeks as needed. This will continue the duration of use until the maximum dose that is needed is reached. Some may alternatively try starting with 20 to 40 micrograms per day, increase the dose 40 micrograms every 5 to 7 days until the maximum dose is reached, discontinue for 2 to 4 weeks and repeat. A note on clenbuterol cycles and doses as it pertains to safety. Female doses should not exceed 120 micrograms per day, and male doses should not exceed 140 micrograms per day. No one should supplement with the maximum dose for more than 3 weeks consecutively. Total clenbuterol use should also be limited to 16 to 20 total weeks per year. Clenbuterol is widely available on the pharmaceutical and black markets worldwide, but oddly enough, it is not available on the U.S. pharmaceutical market. The U.S. FDA has never approved clenbuterol. This is not due to ineffectiveness or danger, but rather numerous similar bronchodilators already exist on the U.S. market. For this reason, most in the U.S. buy clenbuterol on the black market, and while it's not a controlled substance like anabolic steroids, such a purchase is still illegal. For this reason, many turn to research chemical labs. Clenbuterol is normally found as an oral tablet, but research labs manufacture it and sell it in a raw liquid state for research purposes. You will not need a prescription for such a purchase, and it is legal thanks to a very strange loophole in the law. For more information, please visit steroid.com, the world's most visited anabolic website.